Well, guys, you have been asking for it and sending me comments about it and everything. And I know y'all have been waiting on the exciting next installment of what happened with the ex-wife and all that stuff. So, I think it's about time we gave you another part to the story. So buckle up. The Vochek experience starts right now. Welcome back to another video of the Vochek experience, where idiots are still always us, always me. And of course, I was an idiot back in the day when I was married to my ex-wife. I'll admit that. I was an idiot. I'm still an idiot, but you know what I mean. And I also want to say sorry if I look all straggly, weird, and I don't know. I just worked an overnight shift, and I haven't slept yet. So I'm extremely tired, and I am like a little loopy, and all that stuff. But I figured, I'm here, sitting here at a parking lot, because I'm waiting for one of my friends, Amanda, to get off work, because she works overnights too, and we're gonna meet up, and we haven't met up in a while, so we thought we'd meet up and go to breakfast together and just kind of catch up on some things. And since it's gonna still be a little bit before she's done until she gets here, I figured let's talk about the next part of the story. So as I was saying in at the end of the last part, I said that there was one day that changed everything. One day that was one of the, I guess you'd say one of the worst days, one of the best days, something like that, to that effect. But it all was boiling down to one day. And but anyway, on this fateful day, okay, I mentioned in the other parts that that me and my ex-wife's sister, we were both going to a school called South Hills School of Business and Technology. And we hung out all the time, during off class, when we weren't in class and stuff, all that stuff, me and my ex-sister-in-law and all that stuff, And of course, I met some friends there. As a matter of fact, I met Sarah at South Hills, which I will get into later. After I'm done with this series of videos about the ex-wife, I'm going to do a series of videos on just how I met Sarah and how we got together and, how all that played out and everything, so I figured, that'd be a nice story to let you guys in on. But anyway, we're still talking about the ex-wife. So anyway, like I said, we all went to school together and everything. So I never had classes with my ex-sister-in-law or anything, because we were both doing different, programs. But occasionally, I would see her in the halls. I would see her all the time, during lunch breaks and stuff. But anyhow, things were really getting bad to the point where I was just like, I can't stand it to be here anymore. Like, it was at the point where I had stopped trying to make things work. Like, I think for a couple of years up to that point, like, I knew there was no marriage. I was already considering myself really not married, like married in name only, if that's a thing. Just because, things were just that bad, to the point where it was like, there was always an argument. There was always something going on. No matter what I did, it was always wrong. That kind of thing. I was always the one, oh, hey, you can't go nowhere. You got to stay and watch, the two girls. You got, you're not allowed to buy this. You're not allowed to buy that. You're not allowed to talk to this person. You're not allowed to talk to that person, And it got to the point where I just stopped wearing my wedding ring and everything. And it took her almost a year to notice that I wasn't wearing a wedding ring anymore. I mean, that's how bad it was. And, but anyhow, this one day, it was a day like every other day at South Hills, going to classes, doing my thing and everything. And, so at one point there was a break in classes where I didn't have class for a couple of hours. And, one of my friends, that I had from South Hills from school, who was also a female, and as I said in one of the other parts, sorry about my thumb there. I'm trying to hold my phone here. Anyway, one of my friends from South Hills, like I said, who is a female, she, was like, hey, you want to go, across the street, to get something for lunch. She's like, I'll buy you food. And of course, I'm not going to say no to free food, especially since, my ex-wife never gave me any money for food or anything like that. I had no money. She was in control of all of my money. So I agreed. We went across the street. We got food and everything. We ate. We talked about, our classes, different things, and then it was starting to get to be about time for, us to get back to classes and stuff. So, we were both walking together back to the school, which, like I said, was just like across the street. And we were walking back, and apparently, my ex-sister-in-law must have saw us walking together, but she didn't say nothing, or anything like that. And then, at the end of the school day, and I got back to the house, I walk in, and Jessica is like flipping shit, to put it mildly. She's like flipping out and stuff, and she's like, I can't believe you do this to me. I'm like, do what? She's like, I can't believe you cheat on me. I'm like, cheat on you? I'm like, how the heck am I cheating on you? Like, I was just at school, like, how am I cheating? And she's like, you had lunch with that girl. And I'm like, okay. So I had lunch with a fellow classmate that happened to be a girl. She bought me food. Like, what do you want me to do? Say no to free food? And she's like, you didn't ask for permission if you could go or not. So you cheated on me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, this woman has flipped her freaking lid. And she's just like going on and on and on about this, saying that I cheated and all this other stuff. And so we argued back and forth about that and everything, I mean, it was just stupid. And then she was like, all right, well, I got some stuff to do. I got to go to the store, and I got to get some stuff for dinner tonight. So while I'm gone, I want you to think about two things. And I'm like, oh, really? And what's that? She goes, you need to make a decision. You have got to think about this. She's like, either you're going to never talk to that girl ever again and be in the doghouse for like ever, or you can, get out. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, okay, so you're going to the store, so can I think about this? And she's like, yeah, think about it. Think about it while I'm gone, and when I get back, I want your answer. I'm like, cool, okay. I'll think about it while you're gone. So she left, and as soon as she went out that door, first phone call I made was to my mother. I was like, hey, I explained to her what was going on. I was like, do you mind if I come back home? And she was like, no, why would I mind? And then the next call I made was to one of my other friends to basically come and get me. So with all that, being said, by the time I was done with all the phone calls and everything, she came back and she was like, so, what's your decision? I'm like, yeah, I did make a decision. And she's like, yeah, what is it? And I'm like, well, you're not going to like it. I said, I'm going to go. I said, I already called my mother to make sure I can come back. And I also called my one friend, Steve, and I was like, he'll be here any minute. And oh my gosh, she flipped out even more. You can't, blah, 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 like, yelled at me, you can't leave and all this other stuff. She was like, why would you want to, leave and leave me here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you gave me a choice. That's my choice. I'm leaving. And by that time, my friend had gotten there and everything. And, whoops. And, losing my train of thought here because I'm trying to keep my camera steady and trying not to have my fingers in the shot here. Not to mention I'm tired as all get out. So anyway, so like I said, my friend Steve got there and she was like, all right, well, if you leave, you ain't taking anything with you. The only thing you're allowed to take with you is the clothes that you got on your back and your school stuff. You ain't taking anything else. You're not taking anything out of the shed. You're not taking none of your other stuff. It all's got to stay here, And then she was like, and also that cell phone of yours, you got to leave that here too. And I'm like, no, the cell phone stays with me, at least for now. So she was like, all right, fine. You take your phone, and then tomorrow I want you to leave it with Chastity at school so that she can bring it back and stuff, because that's not yours. That's my phone. So I left. I left with the clothes on my back, my school stuff, and my phone. I left. And of course, after I got back to the house, or as in my mother's house, I got there. She was still at work when I got there and everything. But also at the time, my grandmother lived just next door to us. So I was like, you know what? She probably has no idea what's going on. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to, talk to my grandmother and tell her what's going on. So I went down there and I walked in and she's like, hey, Joey, what's up? What are you doing here? And I'm like, freedom. I got freedom. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, I finally got away from Jessica. She kicked me out. And if you ask Jessica, she'll say that she didn't kick me out. But in all intents and purposes, she kicked me out. Even though she gave me a choice, pretty much she kicked me out. And I think I surprised her because I left. She didn't think I was going to really leave, or she thought that I would leave for like a day or two and then come back, which of course, no. No. So I left and, and then a couple days later, I called the local police because I wanted them to come onto the property, like Jessica and Em's property, to like just kind of watch over things and, you know, to make sure that she didn't try anything, or for her to say that I tried something that I didn't do while I was trying to get my stuff. But the police was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We don't do that kind of thing. So I will say I never did get any of my stuff back, except for a few articles of clothing, you know. But anyhow, that's going to be another story. So yeah, like I said, one faithful day, everything changed, and I finally got out of that situation and everything. I also called my dad and everything and was like, hey, you're going to be so happy to hear this news. And he's like, whoa, what's that? And I'm like, Jessica kicked me out. I'm not with her anymore. And he was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. I've been telling you that for 10 years. To get away from her, and, you know, and I finally got away from her, you know, and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a pretty good day for me. That I finally got out of there and everything. And funny thing too, I left like 2 days before it would have been mine and my ex-wife's wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary! You know, but yeah, finally got out of there. That was fun, you know, especially telling everybody that I finally got away and that she kicked me out and everything. And you know, so yeah, that was that day I was talking about. And with me telling you about that day, there is some other stuff that happened after that day, you know, for about, you know, almost a year, you know, in between after I left and stuff. But I think I'm going to hold off on what happened after that to the next video. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, gotta wait for another video. Why do we gotta wait for another video? But trust me, the next part after this is also going to be good. You're going to find out what she tried to do to me after she kicked me out. You're going to find out what it took to finally get the divorce from her, because that was a challenge. It was also kind of funny too. But like I said, that's going to be the next part of the story. So, but I just wanted to get on here real quick, record this quick video to tell you about the day that she kicked me out and everything. Not to mention, it's getting to be about time. You know, pretty soon I'm going to be meeting up with my friend Amanda. So I don't want to make this video, you know, too long. So, but yeah, that's a day I'll never forget, ever, ever, ever. To the day I die, I'll remember that day. But anyway, as always, if you're enjoying these videos and you want to, you know, of course, hear more of the story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you get notified of future videos that I put out, namely more videos in this series about the ex-wife. And of course, you can follow me on all the major social medias. All those links are all down below. If you want to support this dumb little channel of mine, hit that join button, come in with the Idiot Squad. Or you can scan the QR code below here or in the video if you want to make like a donation or anything like that through my Cash App. Feel free to do that. And of course, check out the merch store, because you never know, you might find something there you like. So give all that stuff, you know, a check out and everything. And all those links, like I said, they're all down below. And all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that story and everything. I know I enjoy telling that story, especially the story of when she kicked me out. That, you know, that's like my favorite story to tell with all this thing with her and all that stuff. But anyway, pretty soon Amanda's gonna be here, so I'm going to end this video here, and I hope you guys are all having a good day, good night, good week, whatever the case may be when you're watching this, and of course I'll see you all in the next video, and until then, bye for now.